Welcome to the William Russell House at 12 High Street in Ipswich, Massachusetts. My family and I have lived here for many years. We chose this house very carefully because it was downtown, close to stores, church, library, anything that we needed we could walk to. And we had a very large family, and I did not want to spend my life in a car. Once we moved here, we found it was every bit as convenient as we thought it would be, and we discovered the benefits of living in a very historic part of town, which has existed for 350 years. One of the things that we learned was that we have ancestors who had lived on this very same street in the early days. One of the things that was very important to us was the layout of the house as well as the size. And this house has a wonderful layout for multi-uses for each room. Each child, and we had 6 of them, had space of their own for privacy and their own decorating. But there were large spaces as well for family get-togethers and for everybody to be together. And we discovered that the arrangement of halls and doors allowed people to come and go in the downstairs area without interfering with teenagers who might be gathering in the living room. Later on, as the children grew, we discovered the rooms could be converted to new use. And when most of the children had left home, we welcomed one child back with their family. And so we've been a 3-generation family for a number of years. This house was built in 1890 as a state-of-the-art house, so that it has details that would have been appropriate for a mansion of its time. It has wonderful hand-done fireplace decorations. It has unusual woods, lovely hardwood floors, the finest of hardware. There was nothing that could be done in a house that was not done. It had central heating, which was unusual in its day, and it had the first inside bathroom in the town of Ipswich. So there is no other place that could match the uniqueness of this house and it's an important part of the history of Ipswich. This was a place where everybody in the family gathered. There's plenty of space for 20 or 30 people to be in the same room and mingle, so it's wonderful for parties. We always celebrated Christmas in this house for our extended family. So we would have the Christmas tree in the bay window in the living room, and all the aunts and uncles, the grandparents, the cousins, would gather here for a great Thanksgiving feast in the dining room, so that there is nobody in my family who has now died that I have not memories of them being here. And that's the benefit of playing out your family history in a single location. The house, as I said, was built in 1890 by William Russell, who was a rich merchant on Market Street. And he spared no expense in building his house. It was designed to have servants. Unfortunately, we haven't had any since. But there was a maid named Kit McManus who lived up in the attic. They lived here for about 20 years and sold the house to George Hayes, who was a lawyer and later a judge in the Ipswich court. He was the son of Irish immigrants who came with nothing. So he was the perfect example of an American success story. His granddaughter told me that he was the first Irish person ever allowed to live on High Street because it was the home of all the descendants of the original settlers, and the Irish were not welcome. Then about 40 years ago, we bought the house and have lived here ever since, maintaining it in the careful way that a house of this kind deserves, leaving it better than when we came. Raising a family here in Ipswich was the best decision that we ever made. The people here are friendly. When we moved here, it was a self-sufficient little town. It had a hospital where 3 of the children were born. It had its own electric company, so when the great blackouts came, we were watching the blackout on television. It had downtown stores, only electric department. There was nothing that we lacked, especially the warm, welcoming friendship of the Ipswich residents. Nothing like the sort of stern and unwelcoming New Englanders that we had heard about. I would never, under any circumstances, consider leaving Ipswich, but I leave this house with great sorrow to the fourth family who will ever live here, and hope they will be as happy here as we have been.
Ipswich, Massachusetts is a coastal town in Essex County. Once a thriving mill town, Ipswich today is a culturally and economically diverse community. The community offers an excellent location within easy reach of Maine and New Hampshire, a thriving economy based on tourism and high-tech industry, dozens of historic sites, gorgeous natural scenery, and outstanding recreational opportunities. Castle Hill, home to the magnificent 165-acre Crane Estate, which features a towering mansion, a series of ornate terrace gardens, and several other striking architectural features overlooking the sea and surrounding salt marshes and the Ipswich River. Just 28 miles northeast of Boston and easy access to the commuter rail makes Ipswich an ideal commuting location to the city, yet it still retains a picturesque rural setting in which to live.